Music.
Leg forward.
He's on the coach.
This mine was discovered in 1970. We figure it's been active for about 1857 to about 1861, about 4 years. We didn't know it was here because it's an independent. We blasted through and we found it in 1970 when we decided to create Southern Hill to replicate what went on in this town 120 years previously. And we found this stope and pillar mine. We identified it straight away. It's a very common mining technique, again a Cornish mining technique. There's very, very structural engineering brains of the Cornishmen because of their tin mines. They have been mining tin over there for centuries. BC, I think their oldest one dates to. So we found it in 1970. We've made a few changes since then, but not too many. Now, an independent miner would buy a miner's right from the government. Usually there'd be 2 or 3 of them. A family, as in a father and 2 sons, or a group of young mates. Peg off your claim, 12 by 12 feet each, so 36, 36, 3 hat in the air. Wherever that hat lands, you dig your hole, which is called a shaft. You've heard that term before, mine shaft. And that's how they got in and out of the mine. These 2 holes, or doors, weren't here. They got in through here. Now you're going to be like, Sam, that's a rock wall. You are correct. But behind that, there is 110 foot circular hole. Shaft, and it goes all the way to the top. Shaft. Not a shark. You never know though. So imagine digging 110 feet with hand tools. Anyone who's done any sort of gardening will appreciate that that's a fair effort.
Wow.
And we are directly beneath the candle makers. About 34.5 metres underground.
Wow.
Straight up there's the candle makers. Next to that candle makers there's a 3-sided box. Now don't walk around the other side of it, because if you fall down we're going to see you right here. Because that's the top, we've capped it off to make sure no one falls down. So, these men dug down, found a tiny bit of quartz, and followed them up, that's why they came down and then up. And then, 20 metres each way, they found 500 tonnes of quartz. In total, there's 500 tonnes. So that's 500 ounces, that's $1 million. Roughly. We don't know how much quartz or gold was in the quartz, etc., but there was 500 tonnes of quartz that used to be here. So 2 reasons we know these men have made money. It takes you 4 years to dig it out. You're not going to do anything for 4 years without making money. And also, this TV is very expensive. and we didn't put it in. We found it here. No, of course we put it in. One more thing that we have put in are these timbers. But they would have been here when the mine was operational. So that tells me that they don't hold up the roof, but they do serve an extremely important purpose. What is it? Figure it out.
In case the mine falls.
Correct. Can elaborate. Make sure you've got on the right track. You're definitely right.
I don't know.
When you walk on floorboards, you're right. They creak and moan and groan because of the pressure. So if this mine's going to cave in, it's going to start putting pressure before it caves on these. That's why they're wedged right up. They're going to creak and moan. They give you 20 seconds to 2 hours warning. So you go with the 20 seconds just to be safe. And you shoot straight up that ladder. There's a rope ladder. Crazy stuff. So they're called talking timbers. The Cornishmen do call them talking toms. So now that means what's holding up the roof? We do have some modern things like this concrete here and these rock bolts. So if they do start to creak, we have 4 hours to get out, minimum. So don't stress. But there's something that's been hold this up, this mine, for those 120 years or so that we weren't here. I'm going to show you that now. And over here, that's what I was showing you before. You can see that. So if you scooch around there and go straight up, 110-foot hole. Now we can't go down there because it's a little bit unstable. I don't want to get a rock on my head. All right, now this is going to make a fuzzy noise as I go around the corner, but then it'll be right. So stay there. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, this is the big piece of rock, 1 ton of rock here, that's holding up the roof. And it makes sense. There's nothing on this side, you can see that nice little crevice there. And there's nothing on this side, that's the rest of the mine. The funny thing though, that this is made out of quartz. And what's in quartz?
Gold.
Gold. About 1 ton of quartz, that's about $2,000. So should I dig it out?
Yes.
No. Don't listen to whoever that was. Definitely not. This is what's been holding up the roof. Especially in this section of the mine, there's no concrete up here for 160 years now. And this is why this mine is still in such good condition when we found it in 1970. That before we found it, 40 years ago. So this held it up by itself for 120 years.
Wow.
And these Cornishmen, you start mining when you're 11, so you've only got a grade 5 education. They knew enough about structural engineering to leave that behind.
Wow.
And most mines do have an expiration date, how they make money, but this one has got a new one. And it's you guys, you're a cash flow at the moment. So you can wave if you like. You're all on TV, I bet you didn't think that was going to happen this morning. Get those people over there. Alright, and that's that natural sort of cave-like shape because these men didn't square it up like the company men did. They just wanted the quartz. So this natural thing is that's how the quartz used to be. Alright, I want to come back there. And once we drilled the hole, what do we do with that? With the hole? No adults are allowed to answer this. Down the front, brain stress, think it out. If you drill a hole in a rock, what are you going to do with it?
You put in an explosive.
Very good. You put in dynamite. Just like Wile E. Coyote uses. Do you guys know who Wile E. Coyote is? Okay, parents, that's very disappointing. I want you to fix that as soon as you get home.
My fault.
It was a very, very funny cartoon. Better than anything you would have watched in your life. Anyway, Alfred Nobel invented the dynamite stick. Before that, we used gunpowder, which was very dangerous because of the moisture in the air. It was very unpredictable. And then he invented that dynamite stick, and we were all good. You drill 6 holes, they blow up one at a time, the dynamite sticks, to get that maximum penetration into that rock. Now, usually in Ballarat, there's 3 big quartz veins, so the companies would get into one of them and just blast out the quartz, get it taken up, would get crushed. Now, obviously, remember, gold's in quartz, so the quartz gets disintegrated, it's gone, and the gold gets squashed, and then that gold comes out in the belt, you pick it up, and eureka, and you pay your men with that. Now, you don't give them gold, you give them money. Alright, now I am going to turn this on. Before I do, in 1890 there was 2 major health concerns our men were having. Anyone can answer this. What do you think they were? Their physical health wasn't good. Why?
Dust.
Dust, yes. Their lungs were compromised. Very good. One more. The obvious one.
Noise.
Yes. Got these earmuffs here, but they're for me. You need to put your fingers in your ears. If you want to take a step back, you can. It's about as loud as a loud scene at the movies. Yeah, if there's a big explosion in the movie. Only going to turn it on for about 10 to 20 minutes. No. About 10 seconds to give you an idea of what it's like. Stay at the front if you're brave, but make sure your fingers are in your ears. Counting down from 3, 2, 1. All right. How's everyone feeling? You okay?
Pardon?
No. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We're going to be honest. All right. But imagine that 10 to 12 hours every day. 10 seconds, you'll be right. But 12 hours, probably not. 6 days a week as well. And does anyone want to come and work for us? Someone does down the front. We've got one. Beautiful. You're a fool, sir.
So there's still an active gold mine anyway.
There is an active gold mine about 3k south from here.
Yep.
And it's estimated that they are going to pull out $90 million worth of gold next year.
Wow.
However, it's going to cost them $70 million to get it out.
No.
So they're going to have $20 million profit. Because it's so deep, it's something like 5 kilometres underground or something crazy like that. So mining has got different dangers now because of the depth. A lot more safer, we know, with the lungs and the dust and everything. But it's still extremely dangerous. That's the toilet, that is correct. The lavatory. The thunderbox, that's what we like to call it. Bit of a jazzed up name. You'd work here until you died. So you start when you're 11, and you work until you died. Some of the men, if they were later in the time period towards the war, they would work until they had to go to war. And mining did stop in 1914 in Ballarat. We went to war. Didn't open again until the 1980s. The price of gold didn't warrant us to open again until 1983. All right. And we're going to continue on. Eventually we'll be 34.5 metres under the candle makers. That's our final stop. Now first we're going to talk about 2 things. 1, company mining, so working as a job. And then 2, mining for your own money. So independent mining. If you find lots of gold, you can keep it all to yourself. We'll start off with the company. You would work 12 hours a day in a company like this. You'd come in on this shaft here. See that there? That's a cage. There's 5 men would be fitting in there. Down they come. Work 12 hours a day. 1 day off a week, which was Sunday, and you get 1 half an hour break during that 12-hour shift. And you would get paid £2.7 6 a week, which is about $55,000 a year. It's alright, but it's really not great for what you have to do and put up with. And then at the end of your shift, you go back up there. Who's been to the beach before? Now, all of you down the front have. You sir at the back. You, yes. No, you. When you dig a hole at the beach, what happens? Very good. Water fills up. Our emergency exit, our ladder, straight up we'll go if there's a flood, if there's a fire. Probably not going to be a fire down here. Straight up there we'll go. It could take you a very long time, up to 4 hours. Our deepest mine here is 1,000 metres. And it's going to be dark and you're going to be exhausted and it's going to be slippery. And what happens if a miner falls off a ladder?
Everyone underneath him.
Yeah, he could get very hurt or he could get minor injuries. Feel free to use that one. Put that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. The half an hour break you spend in here, we're not going to stop there. It's called the crib cutting. Get it on your way through. That's where you'd spend your half an hour break eating a Cornish pasty. If anyone knows what that is, you can tell me.
Yes.
What is that?
Vegetable pasty.
What pasty?
Oh, what? That's it, lunch.
It's a Cornish pasty, it's not a normal pasty at all. Not even close. Now this is real gold, folks. It's not fool's gold, don't be fooled, that is real. Once you've had a bit of a gander at the front, swap around so everyone can see. We haven't lost anyone, have we? No.
That's what.
Now the whole area was mined out, so Sovereign has put this there. But if you do manage to steal it without me knowing, you will have $50,000 more money to your name than when you came into Sovereign Hill today. But by now you might have nearly spent that much, who knows?
Air, oxygen, how does it
Good question. Quartz mines, you don't have things like canaries and things down here. You're not dealing with that gaseous issue. But ventilation-wise, you have little here. You don't worry about it because you've got that shaft there. You're only 110 feet deep. Big company mines, there's this little circular, there's sort of like a pipe would go in there without a pipe. And it's just this hole that goes all the way up, and they're sort of just scattered throughout. Yeah. Just you drop a pipe and take the pipe out. Sort of. Alright, any other questions at the back or anywhere else? Well, I hope you have enjoyed the tour. We've got one more thing left to do. We're going to ride on a train. What you do is you throw your right leg over, it's a bench seat, and you sit down, okay? Facing this way. Very important that you don't stand up. See this little guy did? He's going to beat you. It's a headbutt war versus the Timbers. You're going to lose every single time. So don't stand up. Now some people still try and take photos like this. Don't do that either. Same sort of principle. You'll smash your camera.
Right.
On the front of every carriage, there is a red button. So if you're at the front, make sure you know where that is. In case something falls off, e.g. somebody or somebody's camera or something, push that. If it's like a hat or something, it's still important. We'll get it back to you, but just tell me at the end, and then I'll get it back to you on the surface. Folks, if you'd like to stand up and follow me, we'll get you seated on the train. Now watch those.
Yeah.
As you stand up, don't hit your head. That's what I said. Alright, folks. I'm going to take you over to the left hand side.
They're gonna
Is there a school group? Obviously.
School group.